prep. And then we normally give them like half hour, because it doesn't take 5 minutes to get in the dress. It takes a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we generally step out, I'll go and check on the groom, make sure the ceremony's set up, make sure that everything's running smoothly, and then go back, knock on the door and say, is everything ready? I normally tell my brides before I walk out, make sure that you haven't got your shoes on, try not to have jewellery on, and try not to have, if you've got buttons, leave the last couple, 4 or 5 undone, or leave the zip halfway undone.
Brilliant.
So then
it looks like you have been there.
That's it, yeah.
Will you go to the venue before the wedding?
Yes, I generally do. So
Why would you do that?
Just to look at lighting, to look at where we could go for couple shoots.
You're prepped before you go in there.
Yeah, I know. I've set my timeline before I've even, stepped in the venue. Generally meet the couple 4 or 5 weeks before the wedding. Whether I meet them I like to meet for a beer or coffee, just something more casual than,
£4 Coke.
Desk to desk, But I would generally kind of do my timeline, know where I am with the couple 4 or 5 weeks before.
It's important to meet each other before. Welcome to Wedding Mayhem. I've just snorted.
God, I was doing really well to not laugh then. Yeah, I did hear you. Welcome to Wedding Mayhem. Welcome.
Welcome back, every guys.
Welcome back, every guys.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, it's been a morning. How are you?
Just go.
We just go, yeah.
We had a journey here, didn't we?
Yeah. Did we?
Yes.
Well, we did have a journey. We went from A to B. What was our journey?
You with your crazy driving, and then you slammed your brake on, and she went,
"Oh yeah,
sorry about that." Just grabbed my tit, and then
at
one point you were holding my boob.
I didn't really.
But you were looking at me like, "Sorry about that." Let go.
I did.
And your hands were like ice as well.
I was expecting to say that.
Weird. You were like, "Oh."
Oh my god, what's been happening in your week? I've not seen you since Saturday. No,
I've had a spa day, thank you.
Oh
My
yeah,
little birthday treat, Sharon got me a voucher.
She changed her present.
No, but she got me a
She's like Rachel out of Friends. Everything I buy you change.
No, but hear me out. You bought me a boozy brunch, which is on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
We know I'm not going to have a Saturday off.
No.
And then I'm not going to do a Sunday because I haven't got childcare and I've got work on the Monday. So I was just like, why don't we book something for a Tuesday and where I can relax and be all fresh? That's what I did. Thanks.
Was it guy?
What?
Was it good?
Was it guys?
Was it guys? Was it good?
It was lovely.
Where did you go? Brooklyn's hotel?
Yeah, it's all been refurbed. Really, really nice.
Is it?
And and I had a nice full up breakfast all on my own.
Full up breakfast?
You're rubbing off of me.
What's wrong with us today?
And then I had a facial.
What is a full up breakfast?
It was meant to be a fry up. But I was going to say a full English or a fry up, and then I said I'm going to have a full up. So that's the new. Heard it here first. And then I had a facial and a back massage.
Oh, lovely.
It was lovely.
I've never had a facial.
No, it's my first time.
Was it?
Well.
Yeah.
Breakout galore. But no, done that. Had a pedicure yesterday.
Oh, I
got my nails done.
I like my feet being done.
I've realised it's my thing.
Is it your?
It is my thing.
I do.
But it got to the point.
But lots of people don't like their feet being done. No, we had brides coming in. It's the worst thing that obviously the build up to the wedding and they're having all these pamper done. It's the thing that they're not looking forward to.
It literally gives me like the tingles. Like,
have you had reflexology done? The tingles.
Like,
we promise we've not been drinking. It's 9:30 in the morning.
It was so nice. And then give me your leg for a sec. And he was literally
covered in bruises still.
But he was literally like slapping, and then he was getting my foot and going. And I'm sitting there like, yeah.
Where were you?
Just down round the corner from me, but it was so nice. And then they put all cream on my legs and feet, got this piping hot towel, and then like wrapped my feet. It was lovely. It was so good. I want to pay more.
Well, you're
really
lucky
good.
I'm not here with an eye patch today.
Oh yeah.
Had a fight with a bee.
With a bee. No, it's calmed down now.
It's calmed down.
She sent me a picture. She was like, I got stung on the face of all the places.
It's not funny.
It is a little bit. Bee's probably thinking she does a podcast. Fuck her. Have that on your camera.
If it had been fractionally over, it stung me right there. But all this blew up. A bride I had in yesterday, she went, oh, she said, I look like that after Botox. If I'd had Botox, I would have had both sides done.
Yeah.
It still was up here. But it was quite funny because it wasn't funny at the time. But Ali and I are over a hive. It's we've got the apiary on a farm, so we've got quite a few. So this is the first hive that we were in, and I literally opened it up, and I think they're requeening at the moment, so they weren't very happy. So they literally had 40,000 bees on me, and I just could hear something close to my ear, and you can tell the difference if they're outside or inside.
Well, you're going to say you can tell the difference between your inner voice.
Inner voice.
Actually, something's actually happening.
Well, you can.
Talking friend.
And I said to Ali, I went, I've got to be in my suit, and because then I legged it.
Be in your bonnet.
I'd be in a bonnet. But unfortunately, I had all these bees around me, and I didn't know how many were inside the hood, and so I legs it up the farm because you've got to try and get as many off you before you can undo your suit. She's legging it behind me, and bless her, she plays for England veteran side, right. And at hockey, and
Jesus, she started pitting you, did she?
Well, she had hurt her leg, so she was in a brace, so right. She's dragging her leg up the field chasing me.
Jesus, you don't sound very equipped.
Well, and I said to Darren that if anybody was watching me from up the footpath, I literally was smacking myself trying to get these bees off you and trying to get the bee before it got you. And eventually I was able to take my suit off and everything, and I got the bee, but I'd been stung here.
So basically she's murdered all the bees now.
No, I haven't murdered.
How many did you lose during this ordeal?
It would have it died anyway because it stung me. So as soon as the stinger goes from it, it's like pulling out their admin. And so they die straight away. But what was even funnier is that we then got back to her car. She said, right, let me try and get the stinger out. And was it last year or the year before, she found this little thing. It's like a plunger.
Is that the thing that fell on me in the car?
Yeah.
Cool.
A little pink plunger thing. Yeah. And as she's doing it, she's like, basically, if you put it on the affected area, try and get this thing in the middle, and then pull the skin. It's like giving you a love bite. Yeah. But she's doing this on the side of my face. She went, "Oh, I've not done this before." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So she's got this plunger, and she's like this, and then sucking my skin into this plunger. Well, that hurt even more than the sting. And but it did the trick. So she managed to get the stinger out, because the stinger releases the venom. So the more venom that goes in you, the worse obviously this would be. So if she hadn't got that out, then I would have been up like this. But
great.
That was my
you say bees as well. Bees.
How do you say it?
Bees. Bees. Yeah, you really go for it.
Anyway, should we introduce our guest?
Yeah. David Attenborough.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Like, is this wedding mate? It's just gone on to like.
Wouldn't
that
be great?
Wouldn't that be great?
Be great. Anyway, we've got the next best thing. We have got Shaun Peters, who is
to a bee.
To a bee.
Next best thing to a bee.
To David Attenborough. You're a photographer and you're a videographer.
Videographer.
Yeah, I always get that wrong.
He's a videographer.
Videographer. I did get it right before, but I've got it wrong now. Is it a hard word to say when you're me?
Yeah,
it's more filmmaker rather than.
Is that because it's changed, isn't it?
Yeah,
filmmaker.
It's quite an old.
You wanna, especially of weddings, you want to be able to make a film about someone's wedding. It's about telling that story.
Yeah.
So it is more about a filmmaker rather than a video, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's true.
So we need to change that word to filmmaker.
Too late now.
I'm sorry.
And you pronounced it wrong too.
Yeah.
Well, we went from David Attenborough, he's a filmmaker.
Correct, yeah.
To you, there you go, that's our link. So I met you at a wedding fair.
Yep.
I was going to say I pounced on you at a wedding fair, but that would have been wrong. And we didn't chat all day until the end, but I watched you from afar. Again, that sounds a bit weird.
I was watching you.
And it was your first wedding fair, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah, but you were so professional, and you were, out of all the sons that are there, you were so popular.
Yeah, I spoke to quite a few people, to be honest with you.
You got booked on the day as well.
I did get booked on the day, yes. Fortunate for me, the couple come up and said, look, no one even comes close. You know, the whole presence and the personality and what you offer.
What was on that stand?
Yeah, exactly.
He was naked.
Does you like I was watching you all day?
But they were like, this, and the other wedding venue that they booked for is actually in Wokingham.
Oh really?
Yeah, so East Hampton Park.
Yes.
Which is obviously not far from here.
It's one that you like. When we pass it.
Really nice.
You still don't know which one it is.
I do know what you mean. Yes. Was there quite a few other photographers there? Or?
Yeah, there are. Yeah. Obviously, everyone has their different styles and stuff, but it's important to show people you as a person.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when people book you for a wedding, they book you for your style, they book you for your photos, but you also have to make sure you get along with people and you have to be that people
all
person.
Day.
Exactly, yeah. The only supplier that you're with basically all day of your wedding.
What is your style, would you say?
So it's more like timeless, more candid, contemporary kind of style. So
not in your face.
Not in your face.
Not
no.
posed.
Is it more natural?
Yes. Yeah. But the thing is people say, "Oh, I just want natural photos." But when it comes to the finished product, they want that. Some do want that post photo that they can stick up in their living room or somewhere. So you do have to a certain extent, have to pose people. And I get a lot of people saying, I don't like posing, I look horrible in photos.
Same.
It's because they haven't been posed properly.
Yeah.
I spoke to someone, I was at Braxton Park on Sunday, and I was talking to a bride, and she was like, but I hate photos, you know. And I said, why do you hate photos? She said, because I always look awkward. I said, well, to me that doesn't tell me that you hate photos. It tells me that you haven't been posed properly. Yeah. You know, when people stand like this, you know.
I'm terrible for it.
Listen, we don't know what to do with our hands.
You've got to see that bend in your arm. If you get that little bit of like sunlight between your arm, you can see your body shape instead of just seeing something sticking out. So when you're having photos and, you know, in a field, you know, put your arm in on a fence and you can see the sunlight coming through your arm, it's going to give you more of a body shape.
Right.
Rather than just the awkward hands down by your side school photos.
No. What would you say to someone posing for a picture? No, because I just look really uncomfortable and awkward when I take pictures. One of my eyes will slightly like go squinty, and then like my face is like, it just never works.
But I always think that you look so photogenic in photos.
No. You take a really nice photo.
No, I don't.
Oh my God, why are we complimenting each other?
Oh my God, what's happened to us?
I hate you. What would you? What's like a little, like a 3 points?
You want to put all your weight on one leg and let this other leg relax.
Oh really?
Yeah. So you want to be able to put all your weight on one leg and just have that bend in your leg, because again, that's body shape.
Okay.
Where you just stand straight, your knees, you don't look like you've got any kneecaps. You need that kind of weight on one leg, put the leg out in front, and kind of turn to the side, chin up, and have this arm or the other arm, depending on obviously if you're a bride and you've got a bouquet in your hand, you want to see that bend in the arm. You want to be able to.
I feel like a royal ready for my oil painting from how you've said to stand like chin up.
Or a teapot.
Yeah. I think a lot of you know, brides when we, you know, they come in and boys as well, you know, you worry about their chins. Mm-hmm. You know, what's your top tip?
Chin up.
Is it always chin up?
Yeah, because a few people have told me like chin down sometimes, because then it's like, oh, look at my big face.
No, but it's if you do it like this, yeah, definitely. But it needs to be that certain degree angle, just so you don't see kind of anything on your neck and just pulling your neck out.
Because you've got to have this bit of skin.
I wonder if you've done that a couple of times, like just slapped it up, it would make any difference.
I've watched that little advert that comes up on Instagram. I don't know, there must be something on my algorithm where she's got the mask that comes around here. It's a chin strap, and she puts it there, and then you put it up here. And it's a bride doing it in an Instagram post. It's hilarious.
Maybe we should try out these weird little
so
hacks and see if it works.
But then also, I say to my brides, you have to remember you are who you are. Yeah. So your photos reflect you.
You have 5 chins. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to what Hayley said. You know, hands not wands. You know, she's not a magician or a surgeon. You know, it is what it is. You know?
That's it.
You know, what about somebody? I don't even know, I wasn't a photographer. Is literally sucking your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Is that the same sort of thing?
I know people that do that. Yeah. They put their tongue to the roof of their mouth, and it makes them like pouty. Like, it's weird.
I can't say I've ever said to a bride, "Suck your tongue."
Welcome to Wedding Mayhem.
Yes, it's very different.
So that's not a thing.
Yeah.
All right. How did you come in? Have you always been a photographer? How long have you been doing this? Sorry, too many questions.
I've been doing this for roughly about 2.5 years.
Right.
Maybe going on 3 years.
Okay, full time.
Full time.
Okay.
So it hasn't been like a long term. I haven't had, I say, loads of experience.
Yeah.
But you have to imagine that everyone has a different vision. So whether you've been doing it 10 years or you've been doing it 2-3 years,
Yeah.
everyone has that different vision. So people that have been doing it 10 years might have that same sort of style they've never kind of broken out of.
Yeah.
So brides should be looking at kind of styles and the way that the day runs, you know, asking for
things are changing as well.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, how we look at things and, you know, Instagram and stuff like that. So, you know, the demand there is to be more modern.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And to be different as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's smoke bombs, sparklers. There was none of that kind of, especially when I got married. I mean, I've been married 10 years next month.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you look so young.
I know.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah. He's been sucking his chins up.
Sucking that tongue.
Oh, God. Go downhill very, very quickly.
But it's things have moved on very, very quickly. You know, smoke bombs, sparklers. You know, having big bridal parties was never really a thing.
Yeah.
And now it's more popular. People.
Is it important to keep up with the trends, ahead of the trends, to know what is going to be the next big thing?
I personally think you should just do you, because trends will always be a trend.
Yes.
So when a trend starts, there's always going to be another trend.
Yeah.
You know, like blurry photos.
Yeah, what is that?
So blurry photos is a trend.
Yeah.
And people love blurry photos.
Yeah.
Are you going to stick a blurry photo?
I can do a blurry photo.
In your
I've
front
been doing
room?
that for years by accident.
Are you going to stick a blurry photo in your front room?
No.
And say, this is where we got married.
Yeah.
You know, it's all blurry. You can't even see your faces.
Yeah.
You're not going to stick that up in your front room, are you?
So the thing that kills me as well, but I do like the photos, so I'm not bashing anyone, but where it's like they're taking the phone, they're like, oh, stop taking a picture, but they've clearly gone, hold my phone, and they're going...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite cute. So you've been doing it for 2 years. What made you start doing, where did you start?
So when I left school, I started off in the motor trade. So I was a technician. Yeah, I was a technician. Started with the same company for 8 years. Moved there and I worked for Audi for a good 13 years.
Did you specialise in anything in particular, or?
So, just cars.
Just cars?
Yeah. So I worked for Audi.
I think but what part of the car?
So working on cars, repairing cars. So I worked for the same company for 13 years. And it wasn't until COVID that I was like, a bit like everyone, everyone's like, oh, COVID's really changed the way that people look at life and stuff.
Yeah.
And through COVID, my wife had cancer a few years back. Right. So when I was working, I had to move out my house because I was working and she was at home shielding.
Oh, so she was going through treatment. Was she diagnosed?
Cancer was all over by then.
Right, okay.
But she does have an immune disease. So she's very prone to falling asleep.
Right.
And she's got basically too many white blood cells in her body.
Oh, yeah.
So she was put on high risk, has to shield. So basically I moved out my house.
Because you were still working?
Because I was still working.
Right.
And then I had to live at my brother-in-law's for about 3 weeks. And then I finally could go home.
Did you have children?
Yeah, I've got 2 young boys.
So where were the children?
With my wife.
Wow.
And I had one dog at the time, and I've now got 3 dogs. Wow. So it was a house full. And I was 3 weeks of sitting in the sun in my brother-in-law's garden. Wow. So
oh no.
But the end of the story is that when we were coming out of COVID, everyone was going back to work. I've been with the same company for a good 13 years. Yeah. I'd been with the same manager for a good amount of time, so they knew that things that
because COVID still was going on. At the time.
So kind of end of July, I had a phone call from my boss at the company, and they said, we need you back to work. And I said, that's fine, but my wife's health is way more far important than coming back to work, and she's still shielding, so I'm still having to stay at home. Yeah. Because I can't, as soon as I come out, I'd have to shield, or I couldn't go back home. So I basically said I couldn't come back, and then a couple of hours later I had the big boss of the company phone me and said, by the way, I hear you're refusing to come to work.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not refusing to come to work. I'm like, my wife's health is far more important. So he told me that they made 2 people redundant that day, and that they really needed staff back. And I'm like, well, if you just let 2 people go, why are you trying to...
They already knew that you were in that situation.
Yeah, and there wasn't no like, oh, we're going to lift shielding, everyone can go outdoors. I mean, my wife had been in the house for, well, by then it was probably like 7 months, 6 months.
Jesus.
So, I was obviously shielding with her. And then she got a letter through the post to say that 1st of August, everything's going to be lifted and everyone can go back to normal. And they basically threatened me with redundancy. And I was like...
No. Do you know what? It doesn't matter how long you've been somewhere, you are just a number. Do you know what
exactly,
I mean?
Yeah. And they were like, well, we need people, so we're going to look like we're going to take someone off redundancy and we're going to put you on redundancy. And I was like, how can you do that? Anyway, that put a bitter taste in my mouth.
Yeah, you'll never trust people again.
Considering I've been with them for like over 10 years.
Yeah.
And all that time and effort I'd done. And
I was thinking, well, I was with my family for 10 years.
She was the other way. She was like, right, bring it on.
I was waiting for the redundancy.
I wanted security.
Yes.
So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, particularly when you've got a poorly wife, kids.
Yeah.
A dog.
3 dogs now. Yeah. But so I went back in on the 3rd of August. Basically, the managing director phoned me and said, look, sorry, this has gone on and whatever else. And I said, okay, whatever. I went back in on the 3rd of August when my first day back and gave my notice in.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, do you know what? I didn't want the redundancy. I don't care. It's just the way that everything's been treated. Yeah. I had 2 jobs.
Sounds like a HR jobby to me as well. Yeah. That does.
So I had 2 jobs like since leaving school.
Yeah.
So I wasn't.
Were you scared?
I was the same. I was such a stable, stay where you are.
Stable.
Not now.
Were you scared to do that? Your heart must have been in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I already had something lined up, and it was still in the motor trade.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I was getting to a point where I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway, I left, gone to work for a company. I was there for a year, and then I had 3 jobs before I decided, do you know what? I can't work for someone anymore.
Yeah.
I worked for 2 other companies, doing the same thing.
Did you lose your faith?
I think I lost my faith in working for someone.
Yeah.
And then, to be fair, it's kind of glad that it did happen because I've got now more drive than I'd ever had before.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to do this like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I bought my first camera. I was like, right, I want to be creative. I want to be a photographer. Yeah. And
I think with like photography, like people think of it, as a hobby.
Yeah.
Don't they? They're not as a profession as such.
Yeah, but having a hobby and as a profession is totally different.
Yeah.
You're not just taking pictures for fun. You're taking pictures for people, like wedding days.
Yeah. You have to prove yourself for people. When
yeah.
What was people's opinions and thoughts, and what do they say when you like? Right, I'm going to jack it all in. I'm going to be a photographer.
So I had a friend of mine, say to me, "It won't work." He said a friend of mine tried to do it years ago, and he couldn't make it work. And I was like, "But everyone's different." Do you know what I mean? My drive was different.
Yeah.
So I basically, I had a camera like 10 years ago. Thought this is what I want to do 10 years ago. And I was still in a job. And I never really pushed myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of kicked myself looking back now.
Yeah.
This is hindsight, right?
Yeah.
And then...
well, it's also bravery as well. And if you've got kids and mortgage and, in your situation, you can't be selfish.
No, that's it. So I was still working for someone, knowing that I wanted to do something else. And I got my first wedding.
How did you get that?
So that was off...
Because you weren't launched as a photographer.
No.
Okay.
So when I found this couple on Freelance, it's like an app that people are looking for photographers, freelance people. And I just got talking to some guy and he was like, yeah, we're looking for a photographer. And I said, look, I'm quite happy. They had a very small budget. And they were like, will you come and shoot? I said, yeah, fine. Like travel and stuff like that. So they covered, I think it was a couple of £100 or something. And I'd done the first wedding and I was obviously nervous. Every wedding is different. You walk in and lighting's different. Yeah. You can go to the same venue and the lighting be completely different because the sun's out and then it's raining. Yeah. It's a lot darker. Yeah. So my first wedding was in a church. Yeah. And it was dark and I was like, oh my God. But you kind of adapt.
Your heart in your mouth at the time.
Yes. But for them, again, at the end of the day, they were over the moon that they'd picked me because it's the personal experience that I want to come across. Yeah. It's not so much all about the photos, it's more about that personal experience.
We have that in the booth.
Did you get the real buzz out of doing it?
I did, and
it's nice when you do that.
I work better under pressure.
Same.
Yeah,
like you're under pressure and you work better.
I put her under pressure all the time. Like even this, it was like, remember the first time you sat on the sofa and you're like a mic pack going, and you're like, oh my god, a mic pack.
Does she know why she's here?
Yeah.
Because I'm just full into things. What did your wife think about you becoming a photographer?
I'm very lucky because my wife's very supportive.
Oh.
So she knew what I wanted to do. And when it first came across, I walked in the door at home. She was like, what's wrong? I said, look, I don't know if I can work for anyone anymore. And this was still while, you know, before I knew what I wanted to do. And I kind of huffed and went upstairs. She was like, so what are you going to do then? I said, I'm going to fucking be a photographer. I'm just going to do it. And I went upstairs, I had a shower and I thought about it.
It's like Billy Elliot moment.
Yeah. I was like, fuck it. So I got home and I kept thinking to myself, had a shower, got out of the shower, and I think to myself, do you know what, I can do this.
Yeah.
I was like, all the years I put in the motor trade and I got where I wanted to be, I thought, yeah, I can do this. That's what I'm going to do. And then, so I shot my first wedding, and then I come to...
I'm feeling really proud of you at this moment.
So I...
Oh, here she goes.
She ever said that to you?
No, never.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Jesus, woman.
So I'd never, like most people will second shoot weddings, so there'd be the second photographer to kind of help out. I'd never done that. And then by chance met a guy online. Sounds dodgy, I know.
Does your wife know?
Met a guy online. He
was like, I know, I saw.
Met a guy online, never met him before. He was looking for a second shooter. This was off Facebook.
Wow.
And lucky enough, the venue was just down the road from me at Ravenswood.
Oh, brilliant.
So nice venue.
From them all the time.
Yeah, they're lovely.
And so a guy called Luke Granger. Yes, Luke Granger. So he said, yeah, come and shoot with me. So I shot with the wedding with him.
And how long's he been doing it?
He's been doing it for 10, 15 years.
Perfect.
So it's kind of lucky for me. Plus, do you know how hard it is to find people reliable?
Yes. Our industry is lovely.
I was having this conversation with John the other day. Just in general, in all, like, it is hard.
Yeah.
There's loads of people that go, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
There is.
But on the day, your heart is in your mouth going, are they going to turn up?
Exactly.
You know, but it's...
So, yeah, I met Luke. I shot one wedding with Luke and kind of got on a house like a fire. Yeah. Consider him as a really good friend now.
Yeah. And do you have the same sort of genre of what you do?
Yes. Yeah. So he does photo and video as well. Right. So it works really well. So after that, he booked me for a few more weddings to second shoot. Yeah. And then vice versa, I started getting weddings. And then I was like to Luke, right, so we need to do something here. We need to do photo and video together. Yeah. Because most couples say, I want photo and video. Yes. And they want the same person to do it. They want to have that team of people. Yeah. And I'm now at a point where I've built a team of people around me that I can pick up my phone, go on my WhatsApp group and go, I need so-and-so here, here, and here. And
it's all about production, isn't it? So,
yeah. And being in the right places at the right times, because weddings, once you miss that opportunity...
Yeah, it's a flash.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be on eggshells all the time, like, oh my God, what if I miss something?
But that's the importance of not just picking a second shooter up off Facebook. It's importance of having a reliable person that you don't have to worry about for the day. Yeah. You know, if you've got two photographers, you know, I do photo and video. We have two photographers and a videographer on site. Yeah. Oh, wow, I'm mainly with the bride, and I have my second photographer with the groom. Yeah. I don't want to be sitting there doing the bride and going, I hope he's got, you know, a picture of the watch and the groomsman.
Yeah. Well, we had Mrs. Bunn on recently, and she's a content creator. And she was at a venue and were booked by the couple, and the photographer literally the night before went to the couple and went, it's either her or me. He wouldn't work with her. And that's awful because the couple had to choose the photographer because the photographer was there all day, you know.
But you've got to adapt. You've
got to
Things
work
are changing.
Together.
Do you know, people want that 16:9 social media reel. They want to be able to show their friends and family, you know, what their day was like. Yeah. So as a video package, I do a 16:9 reel for them.
Fantastic. I love a
reel.
Yeah. So sometimes.
How quick do the couple get that?
The reel?
Yeah.
I could probably say about 3 or 4 days.
Perfect.
Because you get home, you have to download. You know, first thing I do when I get home from a wedding is download everything. Yeah. Make sure everything's backed up. Yeah. But I try and get kind of some sneak peeks of photos out within kind of 72 hours as well.
Yeah.
So people have got like 20 or 30 images to kind of get excited for their wedding album.
Yeah.
And
I've been to a
something.
wedding before, and the next day when we went down to breakfast, they had a TV screen up, and there was clips on there, and it was like, oh my god, didn't know that.
Reliving that day.
Yeah. So it built up the excitement again.
But so I met Luke and kind of got on a house on fire, and then kind of just took me under his wing, really, I suppose, and just helped me with business and posing and photos. And you know, a lot of photographers will say, you know, I'm natural light, I love natural light. But what happens when it's raining? What happens when you're getting married in October, November, and the daylight's gone at 3:30, 4 o'clock?
What do you do?
Well, that's when you have to improvise and use flash. You know, if it's raining, I love going out in the rain and getting the bride and groom in an umbrella and lighting them up with flash and getting like that silhouette.
You have to be
rain.
ready to change, like you said, if you're good under stress. You know,
it's not just about the photography, it's about how you're trying to, anything can change on the day. And it's about how you approach it.
Are you good at fluffing a train?
Fluffing a train,
You can say then.
You were just filth. I was going to go, because we always think, oh, would the photographer do that for the photos, like sort the bride's
absolutely.
We tend to teach, you know, when we're on stands and there's a quiet moment, especially if there's a fashion show, you know, we often get photographers come up and go, right, this happened at a wedding, you know, can you tell me how to do this? So I'm prepared. So when we have girls in the shop, and especially when the corsets were all the rage and that, we were like, well, we part lace our corset, your photographer will know how to finish it off, because we tend, you know,
there's normally that one's bridesmaids that go dress, dress, dress. So there's always that one's bridesmaid, but you know, group shots and stuff, we will generally.
How does it work then? For me, I don't, you know, care who, you know, if it's a man or a woman photographer, but when the bride's changing and they obviously want those photos, that's obviously you. How would you approach that with the bride?
So generally we do bride prep, so we would do details first thing we get there, we do all the venue stuff, and then we get the makeup shots, bridesmaids. Sometimes I take the bridesmaids out and do one-on-one portraits.
Oh, lovely.
So they know, you know, bridesmaids have got their own portraits of them. Maybe in their gowns as well. And then, so we do the bride prep. Once the bride is ready, obviously we've already got the timeline. Okay, ceremony's at 2, you need to be in
So you're not in there when she's dressing?
No. So do all the bride prep stuff.
It's not a pervert.
But I mean, there's some brides, you know, we get some brides that just would not care. They would literally just, you know, But we, you know, but there will be some brides that like, we're going to be nervous because they want those shots. But they don't want anybody in, you know.
It'll normally be like when they're in it, you'll see like the mum like putting jewellery on and stuff like that, or putting their shoes on. So
would you come in mid-dress maybe? And,
so
you know.
I generally do bride prep. And then we normally give them like half hour, because it doesn't take 5 minutes to get in a dress. It takes a good 20 minutes. So we generally step out, I'll go and check on the groom, make sure the ceremony's set up, make sure that everything's running smoothly, and then go back, knock on the door and say, is everything ready? I normally tell my brides before I walk out, make sure that you haven't got your shoes on, try not to have jewellery on, and try not to have, if you've got buttons, leave the last couple 4 or 5 undone, or leave the zip halfway undone.
Brilliant.
So then
it looks like you have been there.
That's it,
I was going to say, we were saying it takes like 20 minutes. I'm thinking, God, even 5 minutes is a bit too long to put on a...
I know. How many dresses can we get on a bride when they're trying dresses on in an hour?
Well, someone's mum called me Whiplash Lauren the other day. Honestly, it was like stars in their eyes. I was like, next one, and they're like, how did she do it? Maybe we should do a challenge to see how
many we could do. We should do that. I'll get you to film it.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
But yeah, we generally step out, let them get in a dress, then we go back, and then we kind of do touch-ups, bridal portraits before they're walking out.
How long do you recommend that they're ready before then they go down the aisle?
So generally, once I get the timeline from the couple, so say their ceremony's at 2, they're going to be with the registrar between 1:30 and 1:45, and then they're going to walk straight down the aisle, straight to the registrar's, right?
Okay.
So generally, I'd say at least like 45 minutes before.
Right.
Because one, you don't want to be in your dress too long. You know, the worst thing the bride wants to do is sit around in her dress.
They'll be in the dress for 12 hours.
Exactly, So they want to be kind of 45 minutes before we're doing the detailed shots of the dress getting up. You know, if there's a first look, we're going to get that first look with the father of the bride.
I love them.
Yes, there's some ones bursting into tears. It's awesome.
Do they choke you up though? I would literally be like with the camera.
But, you know, like I was taking a picture of you guys, I constantly smile because it's that nice moment. You know what I mean?
But I think if you're smiling, it automatically makes you smile as well.
It eases that pressure.
Yeah.
But generally trying to get that done and then leaving them like 5 or 10 minutes before they walk out just to compose. But trying to get bridal portraits as well of them in the room or outside. Yeah. And a nice walking shot of all the bridesmaids.
Okay. What's your favourite moment to capture? Where's the one you're like, oh, here we go?
I think I love bride prep and I love couple portraits.
Oh.
For me, they're the ones two that I do love because the bride's all excited, the room's buzzing, everyone's like well happy for it to go on, and then the couple portraits after, where the couple get time to just spend time for themselves, away from guests, and just kind of think about where they are. It's awesome.
You're a storyteller, really, aren't you? Yeah.
Which is why I kind of wanted to push myself into photography and filmmaking. Because the whole story, especially film is nothing but a story.
Which is your favourite part?
What, photo or video?
Yeah.
To be fair, I probably couldn't choose. Because photo is that in the moment thing. So if you're looking at your wedding album, you're like, oh my God, I remember that moment of my dad crying. But a video, a film, is you're in that moment.
Well, I think you're reliving it, aren't you? Because it feels like it's in real life as well.
And a lot of people, when I have my couple consultations before anything, I meet my couples, and a lot of people say, I'm really like uncertain about video. I don't know whether to have a video or not. You know, I don't know if it's in our budget. And
my biggest regret.
Exactly.
Did you not have a video?
No.
And a lot of people say that.
No.
Because they don't, you know, their aunts, uncles, and you know, people that unfortunately will pass on.
Yeah.
They have them in photos, but they won't see them crying, laughing, their facial expressions. Yeah. It gives you a different perspective compared to photos. Yeah.
I had so many people in the industry at my wedding that. We said please take videos, so I thought I could then put it together. You know, it's before, obviously we've moved on, you know, I've also been married 9 years, 10 years next year, where I could have put it all into CapCut maybe and done my own video, but, you know, and so I thought everybody got caught up in the moment, you know, and which is lovely, which is where you want them to be, but and even obviously Hayley, who's our photographer, you know, took loads of photos. She said even I got choked up at one point. Luckily her husband was there as well, and they got it between them, but you know, I think it's important not to rely on your guests to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a guest with their iPhone is completely different to a camera that you spent thousands and thousands of pounds on.
Well, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, when they got married, had a videographer, and we're talking 7-8 years ago now. They still haven't watched it because my mother-in-law the night before was rushed into hospital. She missed their son's wedding, and for them it's just so sad to watch it back knowing that she weren't there. So like it was a great day, but then like there was like crying moments where we were all just really sad that she missed it. It was really, you know.
So did she die?
No.
She
scared us last month, didn't she?
Oh, really, is that one? Stop doing it.
That mother-in-law. Not you, with all men. She went to grab my boob. Did you see that? She went, oh, stop it. Right, we need to...
But wouldn't that be a lovely memory to sit down with her?
I know, but it's just sad for them. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. But I think
she was on FaceTime at the front, but it was really funny because she was like at the altar, and then but she hadn't put on mute, so you could hear all the nurses doing the rounds and just chatting. And then Jamie was like, "Mum, can you turn your mic off?" She was like, "All right, love."
I think that's quite nice, but that's what's important.
Yeah.
For the people that are
she might
not
even be on there, and we don't know because we haven't watched it.
Yeah, but that can then relive that moment with you, so they're not physically there. So particularly with people abroad and
So I had a couple that were from Australia. So they were in the UK, they moved to Australia, they came back for the wedding.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I'd done their wedding film. And they could show it to anyone. So everything that I do is like delivered digitally. Yeah. So whether you get your photos or your video, you can watch it on your smart TV, on your iPad, on your phone, anywhere in the world. So if you have got people that are, you know, from Australia or New Zealand or wherever, you can send it to them. There's no like, putting a USB stick in the post.
Mine is on it.
Yeah. So they can literally just get the link, go on their smart TV and just watch it at home.
Yeah. I've noticed on all of your stuff you're mentioning in 4K.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So 4K is...
Because obviously with couples and that looking for a photographer, why is that important compared to one that doesn't?
It's just the quality of the film.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
So, back in the old days when you used to have your handheld camcorders, they definitely weren't 4K, where everything obviously moves on now and everything's a lot more.
I've got a funny story about a camcorder. I'll leave it later.
Oh my god!
And it was a hen-do as well.
Oh my god!
A bit of hangover moment.
Oh jeez.
I'll leave that off camera.
Right. So talk to us about like your packages, all of what you offer.
I was going to ask that after we've done our wheel.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Well, you can ask.
We'll save that actually because that makes a little bit of sense.
Doesn't it? Yeah. Do you want to play a game?
Yep.
I sound like Bruce also. Good game. Good game. We'll chill out.
I like lady from Saw to play a game.
Sucking your tongue.
Saw?
Yeah, the film, the scary film.
I don't think I've watched that.
I haven't. I don't do scary
films.
No.
Right. Have you seen this? We've changed it actually.
I've seen some of it, yeah.
Right. Give it a spin.
I thought that said sniff it.
Sniff it. Switch it. Oh no. Do you remember what that would? Would you rather? Well, you've already done would you rather. So
We're going again?
No, don't.
Oh, here you go. She's gonna.
If you weren't a wedding photographer and filmmaker in our industry, what would you like to do?
Wedding planner.
Why?
Because a wedding planner is very much a personal thing with the couple, and I like.
You're hands-on, aren't you?
My whole business ethic is about being personal.
Yeah.
I don't want the couple to then in a year's time go, who was our photographer?
Yeah.
I want them to go, Shaun, or when I turn up on the day, I want them to go, not our photographer, I want them to go, Shaun's here. Right. So it's, again, I think with wedding planners, it's a very personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're constantly in contact with the couple, the same as I am, making sure their timeline's correct and stuff like that. So I think, probably a wedding planner. I kind of like that.
Yeah. I'd be anything at a wedding show that gets me set up and taken down within 10 minutes.
Oh my god, when you see the stands and they've just got a couple of cards
and
I'm looking at them lugging all the mannequins.
And they're gone. Oh. And you're the same as me. Me and you are like,
Well, I bought that big stand so I could just literally compress it down, sticks in a box. Yeah. So I just got a 55-inch telly to carry to the car.
Yeah. Right,
4K.
Give it another one. 4K. Well, that's very gentle.
I was going to say that.
Your pet hates in the industry. You don't need to name names, but if you want to, that's fine.
Or something brides and
pet hate would be as a supplier.
Yes.
Going to a venue.
Yeah.
Being there all day.
Yeah.
Finally being able to have a drink.
Yeah.
When all the guests are sitting down eating.
Yeah.
Going to get a drink and then being charged for a drink.
Wow. But is it not part of the? It was obviously part of my package that we had to make sure that there was food and drink for the suppliers.
So I done a wedding with Luke, and I went to buy just a soft drink.
Yeah.
And they charged me £4
the venue.
It was an outside company, doing the food and doing the drinks. Yeah. So I went to the bar. I said, "Can I have a half a pint of Coke, please?"
Yeah.
Pint of Coke, whatever it was.
And a bottle of whiskey.
So she poured this glass of Coke and she went, £4, please.
Oh, no.
I was like, I'll have tap water then, please.
£4. And it was out of a 2-litre bottle of Coke. Out of Tesco's.
What a joke.
And I think, obviously, they're a business, so they're on business brain. Yeah. But
I totally get that.
You're a photographer.
But then afterwards...
Who are going to...
there's more.
There's more.
Wait.
But you're a photographer who are going to promote their business.
That's it.
Their name is going to be on all your stuff,
Tagging them in supplies lists. Yeah. Taking pictures of maybe food, maybe them at the bar.
And
they knew, obviously you can't mistake you're a photographer.
Yeah.
I would have took a picture of the person at the bar and
but frame round
it. £4, thanks.
This dick charged me £4.
Yeah. You can't say dick.
No.
We said much worse. So what was the and then?
And then they...
If you're getting right, I ain't right then.
They were asking for photos. They said, do you mind us having some photos of the day?
Yeah. Sure, £5.60 per print.
£40
and more.
Yeah. Plus
and it was the fact is that it was, and it wasn't so much about the £4. It was the fact is it was they were a bit more happy. they weren't happy at all.
Yeah.
And it was like, I suppose that is probably my pet hate, is going to somewhere, knowing that you've been on your feet for a good 12 hours.
Yeah.
You've been probably shooting since 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you actually finally get to sit down at like maybe 4, half 3.
Yeah.
And then you have to get your wallet out to buy a soft drink.
Yeah.
That then you get asked the photos for.
Yeah.
So if anyone sees this guy, don't charge him. Greg's, Tesco's, behind a bar, because he will lose his shit.
But I think, you know,
give him a sausage roll.
suppliers need to stick together.
Absolutely.
And you know, I mean, you weren't in the industry during COVID,
No.
but COVID was a real tester to who you were in our industry. You know, there was, you know, not my industry. My God, I think I would have been lost without my you know, little group, you know, of suppliers in the same industry I was doing.
It's more of a community.
It is a community. It's a family as well.
And it's having people that you trust.
Yeah, and there were times where I'm like, right, I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, trying to find my way through all the logistics. But in our little Facebook group that we've got going on, you know, it's all over the UK. But you know, people go, oh, well, I'm doing this, and I've bought that, and we're like, oh, right, and I've just found out this. You know, you have to stick together.
Absolutely.
You know, because you never know when you need it back.
Exactly.
You know.
I mean, I've done, I think it was like 4 weddings last year.
Yeah.
And I got called on. One was the day of the wedding. Yeah. Someone contacted me. They said, I can't do the wedding today. Can you be there? Lucky enough, it was 15 minutes from my house.
Fab.
And I said to him, look, you need to know that, they need to know that, and that I am coming.
Yeah.
And I turned up to the bridal suite, knocked on the door, and the bride was like, who the hell are you? I was like, you're a photographer? And she was like, are you? And I said, yeah. She was like, oh, but I'm not going to name the photographer, but she was like, she couldn't make it. And she was like, oh my God. Like, I said, don't worry. Yeah. And at the end of the day, she was like, do you know what?
Thank God.
Thank God, like, we got you. She was like, the whole personal thing. Again, that's kind of my ethic. Yeah. She was like, I'm so happy that we got you and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but it's about people falling to fall back on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that I could like trust someone like Luke. Yeah. A couple of other people in the industry like Rob and Dan, that I can just ring up and go, I need you. Yeah.
Do you always have a backup for like the days you planned?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got to.
You've got to. You know, I have 3 cameras.
Yeah.
All cameras record to 2 cards. So if one card does go, I've got a backup on another card. Yeah. And then as soon as I get home, I'm backing up to at least probably 2 hard drives and a cloud, just to make sure that there is backup there.
Photographer years and years and years ago, literally her card failed and everything was on it. But she did have another camera, so she did get a lot of it. But you know, she did another photo shoot at the venue, and we had the dress cleaned for her, you know, and I think we lent some bits and pieces just so they can recreate the photos outside and stuff like that, you know. And we never charged for the cleaning, but I know that she recommends us. You know, we're talking 15 years ago that happened, but she, you know, she'll recommend, and like venue, you know, somebody's recommended us today that was at a wedding, we done the dress and we helped this girl out and with a situation, and you know, those things never get forgotten.
No, they don't. You know, and I think it's good to have, you know, people that you can fall back on. You know, if you ever like styled shoots, if you want to showcase your dresses, you do a styled shoot. Yeah. Just to get that kind of content out there, and this is what they look like, and this is how they fall. So it's very much a community to go, oh, I need this or whatever.
Will you go to the venue before the wedding?
Yes, I generally do. So
Why would you do that?
Just to look at lighting, to look at where we could go for couple shoots.
So you're prepped before you go in there?
Yeah, I know. I've set my timeline before I've even, you know, stepped in the venue. Generally meet the couple 4 or 5 weeks before the wedding. Whether I meet them I like to meet for a beer or coffee, just something more casual than...
£4 Coke.
Desk to desk, yeah. But I would generally kind of do my timeline, know where I am with the couple 4 or 5 weeks before.
It's important to meet each other before.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, if you don't get on, then that's going to have a massive effect.
That's why at point of, like, before booking, I always do a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Some people are, like, adamant that they don't want to do it, and they're like, right, we'll just meet you beforehand. Yeah. But, again, I would like that personal touch. I like to know their names. I like to know...
Once you get to know their little traits and stuff like that.
Yeah, you do. And then on the day, you know their personality. Yeah. So if you want to have a bit of a muck around with the groom and a bit of a joke, you can. Yeah. And then that lightens their mood. Yeah. You know, I went to, I shot a wedding this year, and at the end of the day, the groom came up to me, and he was like, I'm so glad I had you, because, you know, the bride, or my now wife, was telling me how nervous she was this morning. Yeah. She said, she couldn't believe how much you calmed her down.
Yeah.
And it's just, if you're calm on the
Makes
day,
you feel good.
Yeah.
so will they.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's about being organised as well. The last thing the bride needs is to go worrying about something. You know, I've been there putting necklaces on for people and buttonholes.
Those fiddly catches.
The fiddlies.
Boys don't know how to do them. And all the buttons. My husband freaks out on buttons all
Have
catchy.
you had any like really weird photo requests, or have you anything you've been a bit like, oh, or like something just really out there?
I've done some lovely portraits, bridal portraits of a bride in Buxted Park.
I was saying buck naked then.
Yeah.
Nearly. But we had her sitting in a window, holding her dress and like revealing, and it was different. But when people see it,
What do you mean revealing?
What, like holding her dress over her naked body?
Yeah.
Oh, like you would this towel.
Yeah. So a lot of couples do like. Brides do like boudoir shoots before they do their wedding, because what they want to do is they want to put a book together for their husband, and then they sometimes give it to them on the wedding day.
Little porno book.
Little like
Should do
boudoir
that for
book.
John.
Yeah. But it was totally out the blue.
Yeah. Oh right, you weren't prepped for it or anything.
Weren't prepped for anything. It was just a like off the thing cuff, and the room was nice.
Happened.
The light was nice, and it was like, should we do this? And I said, Luke was with me at the time, and I said to Luke, nah. And then the bride heard me and she was like, come on, what am I not doing? And I showed her the picture and she was like, let's do that. And the pictures are on my website and some on my Instagram. But and then when I show people, they're like, it's not a photo, it's art. It is art. It's different.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that anywhere before.
Yeah.
And it's a lot different. So
you definitely have an eye for your photographs are beautiful.
I love it. She heard you go, nah.
No.
They call you out.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing you've seen at a wedding?
I don't know if I've ever seen anything worse. I've seen a scrap between family members.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Come
But
on, give us the goss.
we don't actually know what's going on. Kind of kept out of the way. All we heard is the commotion and kerfuffle and kind of, I think someone fell on the floor, but
God.
Fell on the floor?
Well, maybe pushed on the floor.
Push slipped.
But that you kind of just.
There's always a fight at a wedding. That, you're going to bring, if you're going to bring people together that have got different personalities, different expectations, and different values.
Yeah.
And a few drinks. There's always going to be,
But then a lot of people forget that they're there for the couple.
Yes.
I know,
They're to
everyone
celebrate
makes it
their
about
day.
themselves.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, I want this photo, but actually it's for the couple. The couple need to. That's why we have pre-wedding meetings.
Yeah, well, that's one of my questions actually from a bride. What should couples do prior to the wedding in photo preps? I think she's meaning like, does she give you a who she wants?
Yeah, so we would go through a shot list 4 or 5 weeks before.
Would you?
So we will get a shot list from the couple. So I will send them out a questionnaire.
Right.
All done online.
So would you like have something already done for them? Because I would be like, oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. So it's basically like a tick box exercise.
Right.
You put your name, you put how many bridesmaids, how many groomsmen, what the name of the best man is, what the name of the bridesmaids are.
Yeah.
And then
it's important to give the names, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Instead of me going oi or who are you, it's more like, okay, can you so and so best man Neil? Can you go and get so and so?
And there's more than one Emma, so you need Emma P or Emma D. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I was at a wedding the other week and there was 3 Rachels and they were all bridesmaids.
No.
So you're saying, Rachel? They're all like turning their heads.
Who is your? This is my question to you actually. Who do you look up to? Who's your aspiration?
There's a couple of people that I follow on Instagram and go, like, that's where I kind of want to be.
Yeah.
But I kind of also want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I want to be different. I don't want to follow
someone else. You take a bit of this
else.
and a bit of that and put your own.
That's it. And that's what's good about, knowing other people in the industry.
Yeah.
Because you take things from other people and you put it in and then it works for you.
Yeah.
And
I mean, some people will say it's copying, but it's not, because you're gonna put your own spin on it.
That's it. Making it different.
Yeah.
So there is people out there that I look on their Instagram, and there's a couple of people that I follow. A guy up north, for instance, his wedding films are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And all he does is films.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, his films are so good. I want to get there. Yeah. Plus a little bit.
I think when you're in
more.
the industry, your level of expectation, and so if somebody's catching your eye and go, wow.
Yeah.
That's important.
And it's level to detail as well.
Right.
Like you sit there, you do group shots.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the best man's still got his shoelaces undone and the pocket square's half hanging out.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to sort that out. You need to do this.
Yeah.
It's the attention to detail stuff.
And
as
we
well.
watched you on the photo. We
trick.
watched you take our photo earlier, and your face is not behind the lens; it's above the lens because you're watching.
At us. Yeah.
You know.
You're watching, like, and the same with group shots.
Yeah.
You set your group shot up. And obviously in post you can straighten it and whatever else.
Yeah.
But you're constantly looking for people with their eyes closed, not
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah.
Or you put your head up.
Yeah.
So it's not about
Rachel.
Rachel.
All of them turn around.
I have the problem because, believe it or not, there's not many Sharons around, and you go to a place and somebody says Sharon, and then somebody says Sharon, and then suddenly 4 heads poke up. You know, my stepmom's called Sharon as well, which is quite hilarious.
Oh yeah.
You know, but where do you want to be in 10 years?
Doing exactly the same as what I'm doing now.
Love that.
I don't want to be, no one's ever the best at anything.
No, always learning.
Maybe like football players and whatever else, but I think it's the same as if you're not a professional footballer or tennis player, and you're that kind of, especially small business, you want to continue what you're doing, and if you love what you're doing, that's where you want to be, because people will kind of come to you on that, rather than always trying to be better than anyone else.
Yeah. Well, you lose focus if you're trying to aim to be somebody else and not you. Ask your question.
Yes. So tell us about your pricing packages. Where can we find you? All of the
all the deets.
You can have me all to yourself on the day.
Oh, Sharon's like, how much is that? Just watching you all day.
So you can have me all to yourself, or you can have photo and video, which means there's 3 of us on your day minimum.
Right.
So there will be, you can either just do photo or you can do
what's
photo
your
and video.
basic package? I've got no money.
Sharon's like, how cheap can I have you for?
Yeah.
So it's $14.50 for the day, and that is kind of pre-wedding shoot. That's me on the day, and I don't,
What will I get afterwards?
So you'll get a online gallery sneak peeks, kind of 72 hours before.
Yeah.
And it's the.
And are all those mine? I can download them.
Yes.
I don't have to pay any extra for them.
No, I don't charge any extra for downloads or anything like that. So
it's an important question to ask, and because a lot of our brides don't know, and do they come back and go, oh my god, my guests have been asked to pay for extra photos and stuff like that.
So generally, my wedding album or my wedding gallery will be delivered to the bride.
Yeah.
And she will set her password.
Yeah.
So she can set her password, and then she's the only one that can download them.
Right.
So she could share that gallery to anyone on her estate or in the world, and they can't download them, they can just look at them.
Yeah.
So for some people, they're a very personal thing.
Yeah.
Some people don't want them to have them, they just want to see them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, I want to see your wedding photos.
Yeah.
And then they have to, again, send out a USB or send them over on WhatsApp. They can literally copy and paste the link on WhatsApp. People can press the link and they're straight in their gallery.
Good.
And can they be printed as well? Do you print them too?
Yeah, so we can do prints and do albums and stuff.
Do you do like the books?
Yes, albums, yeah.
I'll let you have that. The books. Oh, that coffee you've just had, that was £4.
Do I say it's a newfangled thing, but the video books.
Yes.
Do you do those as well?
So there's not so much a video book, we can do the screens.
DVD.
Inside. They're gone as well now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're on my allotment.
On my allotment?
Yeah, they're on my allotment where I've got them on strings for the birds to stop them eating my stuff.
Okay.
The DVDs or the DVD player?
No, and that as well, yeah.
But that's again done digitally. So
yeah.
I will put them onto their own personal website.
Yeah.
They'll log onto it, they'll have their name, they'll have their 2 kind of full feature film and a mini highlight.
Yeah.
Obviously don't generally put the reel on there, that goes to them personally.
Yeah.
But they can literally go on there and watch it, and it's the same. They can send it to someone in Australia.
Yeah.
And they can watch the film as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
So there's no like downloading and sending and
I
always say to my couples, when you get them, just download the whole lot.
Yeah.
And at least you've got it then, hard drive or whatever, and at least you've got them.
How many? Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
How many roughly do you think you would send a couple? Like photos.
So,
if you got like an average.
Average
turnaround.
I mean, I don't ever put like a a number on it.
Yeah.
Because
do you take out all the fuzzy ones?
Yeah, all the pictures of people blinking and stuff that you got to.
Noses.
That's it. But I generally always like over deliver.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, whether the it's got the back of the bride and the front of the bride.
Yeah. What you see and what they see is two different things.
And I would rather give them that option.
Yeah.
If they turn around and go, well, I don't like the back of my dress in this shot, they've got it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold stuff back that I think that I really like for then the bride to go, I wish I had that. Yeah. So I mean, so I always try and deliver at least kind of 800 to 1,000 photos.
That's fantastic. You've been really kind, and you've got all our listeners a little code for when they book you, haven't you?
So if you want to mention Wedding Mayhem on my contact form, we'll offer a 10% discount. So obviously that's kind of relationship.
They can put that towards their wedding dress with us.
You'll be using it for your little nude shot. You'll be holding up your beekeeper thing.
Where can everybody find you?
Website, which is shaunpetersphotography.co.uk.
Yeah.
Instagram is Shaun Peters Weddings.
Yeah.
And then on Facebook, Shaun Peters Photography and Media.
Fantastic.
So, but mostly I'm more active on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just because it's not full of Facebook where it's mums and dinners and Sunday lunches and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
do you travel anywhere?
Oh,
anywhere.
yes, good question.
So next year I've got 2 in Spain.
Nice.
And do they pay for your travel and hotel?
Yeah, we kind of work something out.
Come to an arrangement.
Yeah, because photography and stuff is quite
You're on the
expensive,
futon at the bottom of their bed.
Yeah. With my sleeping bag.
Oh, yeah. And a meal plan.
Hi.
That's it.
Good morning.
And then I've got one in the Lake District as well next year.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So we are. I'm taking a team of us, and we're planning to go up there the day before.
Yeah.
So the couple have nicely put us up for 2 nights.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So we're going to go up there in the morning.
Yeah.
We're going to do their engagement shoot in the Lake District.
Beautiful.
In the mountains, on the lake.
Yeah.
Day before the wedding.
The day before the wedding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going to try and hit it kind of just before like golden hour sunset.
Yeah.
So we can be out and do some shots without golden hour and then kind of go up into the mountains. But yeah, big massive like hotel on a lake. So it's going to be lovely. You know, especially with drone stuff. So we do a lot of drone stuff as well with the venue and
that's cool.
couples walking through the fields and stuff. So
do you have a drone?
Yes.
Oh, You're like, because I do
of
it.
course. I love tech. I love shiny things. So
when you were doing cars, was it the mechanic side of it?
yes, yeah.
So you're technically minded as well, are you?
Yes, yeah. I love building stuff
Perfect.
kind of. But,
we have the same. I did do the family tree. We're not related.
We're not related.
He's got my maiden name.
What's your name?
Peters.
Oh, sorry. Oh my God! Stop it.
Well,
I'm not okay today.
We need to say goodbye, but we've got a little present for you.
Okay.
Hold on 2 seconds. You go away with your own little mug.
Perfect. Thank you.
There you go. You can put your Coca-Cola in that.
Right in my office.
Yeah. If I don't have the glass, will it be less than £4?
And you told me what your favourite cake was.
Yes.
Can you remember?
Chocolate cake with butter cream icing.
Here comes
she's got some cake as well.
I made you some cupcakes.
Oh my God, you've given him like a little Happy Meal box.
Yes, oh good.
This is what they give the kids when they have their parties.
I'm just going to go straight in the door and just give that to the kids.
I think there's 6 of them, so you can go and swear. You can swear them out.
Swear them out.
Share them out.
Kids?
So one's 8 and one's 6. Sorry, 9 and 6.
9 and 6.
You've been away that
Kids.
long.
Time goes too fast.
It really does.
Goes way too fast.
Definitely. Have you had a good time?
I've had a lovely time.
Can you do us a huge favour?
Yeah.
Can you look at that camera
Yep.
and ask everybody to subscribe?
Subscribe, like, comment, share, save. Wedding Mayhem, it goes a long way, trust me.
Yeah, guys, it's really important because you're an independent.
Yeah.
We're an independent, and we're trying to showcase the what we have here in the UK.
Yeah.
And obviously you're going abroad as well, so you know it supports all of our industries. You know, thank you for coming on.
No worries at all.
Thank you.
You can say goodbye.
Yeah, I can't remember where I'm looking.
Here he is. Bye. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week. It was a bit American, wasn't it?
Yeah, goodbye.
Was that all right?
That was good.
You did really well.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. I told you it'd be fun.
That was actually fun.